Okay, hello, my name is Cameron James, and I'll be interviewing Ben Imbolo today about where he's from. So, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Benjamin Imbolo. I'm a senior supply chain management student. Here, currently, I live in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, but I was originally born in Kinshasa, capital city of Kinshasa, in the country of Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Ooh, wow, that's great. So, what age did you move from the Congo?
I moved from the Congo when I was 7 years old here with my family. And the reason why I came here, of course, Congo is a third world country, and I came here to seek a better education.
Awesome. Okay. So, did you speak another language growing up? Were you taught another language as well?
Yes, well, the way it works is actually an average human being in Africa speaks 3 languages.
Really?
So when you're born, every city pretty much have a language that they speak. And then every tribe have a language that you speak. And then when you go to school, you're educated upon whichever language that the people that colonized you spoke. So Congo is a French colony. So
Okay.
what we speak in school is French. So such as places such as Nigeria, at school they speak English. Ghana, they speak English. So it just varies in whichever.
So, you know, which languages again do you speak?
I speak
English?
Lingala. I speak English. English language I speak most just because I live here. Second, I speak Lingala. Third, French. French just varies on who I'm speaking with. Some family members, they don't like to speak Lingala, so we just speak French.
Okay.
And then my tribal language, I don't speak it as much. My mom speaks it a lot, really.
Mhm.
So, I really, it's kind of hard for me to speak it because so many, different words, but yeah.
So when you're back at home with your mom, well, first of all,
Yeah,
is
when
your
I'm-
mom here or your dad or
Yeah,
both parents here in America?
My mother currently lives here.
Okay.
My dad, because he's a businessman, he travels back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, my mother currently lives here just because.
What do your parents do?
My mother, she's never worked a day in her life. She never
Wow.
went to school either. Yeah, she's kind of the traditional African woman. She got married and raised kids and took care of the household all her life. And my dad, he received a high school education, Belgium high school education. With that, he used the knowledge that he gained to start his own business. Yeah, he owns a boating business.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So your parents are married,
Yeah,
but
parents
he's
are
just.
married.
So is that how it is usually in the African culture? Like they don't have to be to live together. Like since your dad lives back in the Congo.
Well, no, that's not really how it is.
That's
Under
just how they're
yeah,
dealing with it
under
right
our
now.
circumstances. That's
Okay.
how it is right now.
Okay. So when you are back home, you do speak the language.
Yes,
Does
yes.
your mother speak
When
English
I'm-
as well?
Yeah, no, she doesn't speak English. So when I'm home, we don't seldomly if ever speak English. We speak Lingala or French.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have siblings? How many
Yes.
siblings do you have?
I come from a big family, so I have 8 siblings. I'm the youngest of 8.
Wow.
I
You're
have
the
7
youngest?
siblings. Yeah, I'm the youngest of 8.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So if you could, for us, would you say hello? How are you in the language that you speak?
Yeah. Boniquem, vous allez bien?
Awesome. Wow. So would you ever want to move back to the Congo? And if so, why or not?
Yeah, so I would definitely love to move back to the Congo just because it's an emerging market and it's a world opportunity presents itself over there. And if you look at business, if you look at technology, Africa is definitely the next trend, and most companies are heading that direction. So for me getting an American education and then me actually being from Africa, it's going to be very beneficial in the future. So I definitely could see myself moving back.
Okay. So what is one thing you miss about living in the Congo? Do you miss anything? Or
Yeah, I just kind of miss the spirit of. We think we're people, rather. Even though Congo is a third world country, people are just so free. People are happy. People embrace our culture more.
So
Yeah,
is
that's what I miss.
dancing a big thing there?
Yeah,
Food,
dancing and
family?
food is a big thing there. So one of the first things, if you come to my household in Africa, one of the first things I automatically have to offer you something to drink or something to eat.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow, you all etiquette is a big
Yes,
thing.
yeah, etiquette is definitely a big thing. Yeah, and respect is a big thing. We shake hands, and we also refer to people a lot by who they are. So let's say you're an engineer, we'll call you Engineer Benjamin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if someone doesn't offer you food when you enter a house, is that considered rude? Or do people not
well,
and do
it's
you
not
only do it to
considered-
people you really know? Or
it's to anybody. Yeah, it's kind of considered rude if they don't offer you anything.
okay.
Yeah.
So you would
It
take
could
it
be
offensive.
water. It could be water. It don't have to be juice. It don't have to be food, but just water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is one thing you don't miss from living in the Congo? Is there anything that you do not miss?
Yeah, one thing that I don't miss is just not just Congo. Most African countries don't have the infrastructure, so yeah, the roads and stuff like that.
Really? So
yeah.
you walk a lot?
Yeah, you do a lot more walking. We have cars and so forth, but you do a lot more walking. The roads they're not as good. Also, electricity is not as good out there.
Okay.
It's not as developed.
So when you go back there, do you usually walk when you're going places, or do you do drive?
No, because being that I've lived here for a while, most of my family they just try to accommodate me.
Okay.
Take taxis or get on the bus.
Okay. So do you have any family that live here besides your immediate family? Is most of your other family still back in the Congo?
Yeah, most of my other family's still back in the Congo.
Okay. So how does it feel to live in America? Is it very different from living in the Congo, or are there similarities, or what are some differences?
It's very different. It's very different. As far as the culture, respect is a big thing in Africa. Not just respect for ourselves, but respect for others. I feel as if that's one thing that we kind of lack here in a sense in America. Let me just give you an example. It doesn't matter. If you're 4, I believe it's 4 and up, I have to refer to you as my yaya. And yaya pretty much means elder. So, in my brother's case, my sister's case, I refer to her yaya, yawivin.
Okay.
And my little cousin, he's 4 years younger than me, but he still refers to me Yaya Benjamin.
Okay.
It's not that difference in age, but it's just.
So is it kind of like a Miss and Mr. type thing?
Yeah, Mr. thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're very big on that. And I just miss the culture. I miss the food. I miss the parties.
Mm-hmm. So I often hear that Americans take a lot for granted. And do you feel like, I hear that often from people who are from other places than America. Do you feel that that's true?
Yes.
And why do you feel that that's true?
I definitely think that's true because first thing I have to say is this education that we take for granted, being that it's free. In all African countries, you pretty much have to pay to gain an education. And here, being that we have a free education, we have the highest dropout rates, some of the highest dropout rates in the world, where you have a free education, while other students will kill to come here and gain a free education.
Okay. So, stereotypically, a lot of people think of Africa, and they think of these poor cities that they see on TV often.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the Congo typically looks like? Like, is it city, urban looking? Is it suburban?
Okay. What they show you is where I would have to say where my mother was born. Where they show you the villages and stuff like that. They show you the very rural areas. They don't show you the city. I'm from Kinshasa. Kinshasa, I was reading an article the other day. It said in 10 years, Kinshasa is going to be one of the largest cities in the world.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so we have towers, you have a downtown and so forth. So it's really up to you to do your due diligence of research. And I encourage everybody to visit. Nairobi, where I'll be working in a few years, is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Places such as Johannesburg, Kinshasa, where I'm from. We have some beautiful cities. But of course, being that we're a developed country, all of our cities are developed, equally as we have, as we'll say, in the Western.
Okay, I see. So you mentioned earlier that family and food is a big thing in the culture. So what are some traditional dishes of food that you all eat?
Yeah, traditional. One of my favorites is mikate. Mikate is pretty much like our version of donuts.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a dessert.
Yeah, it's like a dessert thing. Yeah, we eat it. You eat it after every meal. You eat it actually. You dip it in peanut butter.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good. Mikate. And we pretty much, I would have to say, black people in Africa and black people in America, we pretty much eat the same things. We just cook them different.
So there's fried chicken there?
Yeah, we have fried.
Collard greens?
Well, it's different. You see, we're more of a grilled chicken addict. Yeah, so we eat a lot of grilled chicken. Yeah.
Are you all more about health there, or does it just depend who?
It really just depends.
Okay.
Yeah. But the way we cook our food is also healthier. We don't use as much oil, much grease. Yeah.
Okay.
We grill most of our food.
Okay. So do you all just eat the traditional meats like chicken, beef?
Yeah. Traditional meats.
Or do you all eat other things like, sometimes down south people eat deer?
Yeah, we have goat meat, we eat deer. Yeah.
So how does goat meat taste? You tried that?
Yeah, goat meat.
It's good?
Yeah,
really?
It's good. I've actually, when I was younger, I actually tried alligator meat before.
Alligator meat? So they kill alligators and you eat these things for dinner?
Yeah.
It sounds interesting because I used to think deer was nasty and I actually tried it. And it was good.
It's pretty good. Yeah, alligator meat is actually pretty good.
So do you think it tastes like chicken or it's just something
I haven't had it in a while, so I don't remember the taste. But yeah, I remember when I had it as a kid, it was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for sides, do you all eat the same type of things? We do broccoli, rice.
No. Our sides are different. So the way we do our meals is we either have rice or fufu.
Okay, what's fufu?
Fufu is pretty much mashed potatoes, our version of mashed potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we eat those things, and then along with those, we eat two vegetables. We either eat beans or some sort of greens. Yeah, so we don't do the whole sides thing. So you either have your rice and fufu, and then you have a choice between greens or beans, and then you have a choice of meat, whether it be beef, chicken, goat meat, and so forth.
And juices are the same?
Yes, juices are the same.
Cranberry
juice.
juice.
Coke, and so forth.
Do you all drink alcohol in Congo too?
Yes.
Is there an
age
limit? A lot
of alcohol. No, there is no age limit.
No age limit? So
my brother said he started drinking alcohol at the age of 14.
So really, you can drink at 14 there?
Yes.
And it's okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Can you drive? Is it a certain age until you can drive?
No. That's the thing, though. That's one of the things they're working on regulating now is the drink and drive policy and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we're developing in those portions.
Okay. Well, I say we geared off to that, but can you cook any of these dishes?
Actually, in African culture, men are pretty much taught to stay out of the kitchen.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a lot of stereotypical things.
Yeah, it is. But we do other parts in the house. So growing up in my household, I wasn't taught to cook or anything, but I was responsible for making sure all the dishes were clean. I was responsible to make sure all the grass was cut.
Okay.
The house was clean, the bathroom. So we do more of the rigorous work.
Okay.
Well, not rigorous, but we do more of the hands-on, get your hands dirty work.
So what are the women supposed to just cook and take care of the children? Or
traditionally, that's how I used to be. In my mother's generation, that's how I used to be. Now we're moving into the generation with our generation. I think my sister's generation. My sister's in her 30s. We're coming more, I would say, more westernized, where more women are starting to work, more women are getting educated.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you plan on passing these traditions down with your family as far as you want your wife to stay home or you want your wife to work?
I want my wife to work. I feel as if, I just like the equality and that balance there.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your future plans?
My future plans right now, I've been blessed with the opportunity to go work for IBM in Nairobi, Kenya.
Wow.
Yeah, they lead the Africa program.
Now, how far is Nairobi from the Congo?
It's a 4-hour flight, and driving is 24 hours.
Ooh.
Yeah. And of course, we don't have that infrastructure, so there's really no way to drive. You just have to fly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, do you know anyone in Nairobi?
No, I don't.
Are you excited about this? Nervous? How exactly?
I'm excited. I'm the type of guy. I'm always looking for an adventure, and I'm just going out there, dialing the dream, God on my side, and we're gonna make everything work.
How did you get this opportunity open? How did the door open for you?
Through A&T. They had a program here, and then I gave them my resume, and surprisingly enough, on my birthday, they hit me up.
Oh my goodness! So how does your family feel about this?
Some are excited. Some, they're not for it. But at the end of the day, I have to be my own man. I have to make my own living.
That is true.
Yes.
So you're not nervous about moving somewhere where you're not going to know anyone?
I'm nervous.
You're going to have to meet new friends, which you will probably.
I'm nervous, but that's what I look forward to. I like going to a new place and kind of just, starting from scratch, building myself, and everything's going to work out.
Yeah. So do you plan on living in Nairobi forever?
No, this Nairobi is just a part of my rotation. So I have 3 different rotations within the program that I'm in. So my first rotation is in Africa. So the program that I'm in it's the Lead Africa program. So eventually, in my 30s or 40s, later on in my career, I will be working in Africa permanently.
Okay.
But this one is this first rotation is just get my feet wet, learn the culture, learn how business works in Africa, and then come back here, gain more experience, get an MBA or get a master's, and then later on in my career, I'll go back to Africa and apply all this knowledge I've learned in Africa and help IBM.
Okay. That's good. So in Nairobi, do they speak a whole nother language than
No. Yes.
the Congo? Or
they speak English. They were English. They were English colony.
Okay.
Yeah. So in Nairobi, they speak English, but they also have in the city. Every city, as I mentioned earlier, they speak a different language. So they in the city over there in Nairobi, they speak Swahili.
Okay. You don't understand.
Yeah, I don't. So I'm looking forward to learning a little bit of Swahili.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be interesting. Do you think it's going to be easy to learn that, or do you have any friends who speak Swahili?
No. But it's going to be easy to pick up. It's the best way to learn a language actually living there. So yeah, I'll be living there, so I'm sure I'll pick up on it.
Okay, that's awesome. So from the Congo, what are your traditional Thanksgiving and Christmases like? Is it just like America, or how?
We don't have Thanksgiving in the Congo.
Really? So do you celebrate it here now?
It's a holiday. We just kind of incorporated it, developed since we live here. But it's different. My family now, we try to have a mixture because we have kids and so forth like that really don't like African food, and we have other people that don't like American food, so we kind of have a mixture. So we have our turkey, we have our ham, we have our mac and cheese, and then we have our goat meat, our grilled fish, our grilled chicken, micate, and so forth.
So during these holidays, the women are throwing down.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many sisters do you have again?
I have 3 sisters.
3 sisters and
4 brothers.
4 brothers.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, are there any other special holidays that you all celebrate outside of the traditional?
So, one of the things that we 40 days after an individual has passed. No, is it 40 or 90 days after the individual has passed, we kind of have a big party to celebrate their life. So
after someone has passed away.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it like families come together?
Yeah, families come together. This is no longer mourning. This is just to celebrate their death.
So it's exactly after 90 days.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you partook in an activity like this.
I partook.
And how exactly does it?
Just
do you dress up and?
Yeah, dress up. Family gather around. Music, food.
Okay.
It's a fun event.
And do you just do it at the house? Do you go out to eat?
Because
actually, I work in a restaurant, and one time, as they sit down, we say, "Are you out celebrating anything, or are you just coming out to eat?" And one time, I don't know if they were African, but they did look of African descent, and they were like, "Yeah, we're celebrating my mother's death," and we were all like, "Oh, well, we didn't know whether to be excited or is it something to be excited about?"
Yeah, it's something to be excited about because in our culture we believe that the Lord is the one who's giving and taking, and we believe anybody who's gone is going up to see the Lord, so that's why we're celebrating.
That's good. That's awesome. But you all do still have regular funerals.
Yeah, we still do have regular funerals and so forth. Yeah, our funerals are much stronger too. So,
how long?
It's just the family like to mourn together. So our regular funeral in Africa will take about a week.
A week, really?
Yeah, a week.
So what do you do in this week? Like, how does it take a week?
It's just pretty much the family comes together, and friends, family, they come spend time together, and just pretty much console each other during that whole entire week. And then that Saturday, you guys bury that person, and after the Saturday, you have a dinner and so forth, just like we would here.
Here in America, okay. So in the Congo, is it just like America where there are different religions such as Christian?
Yeah.
Are there Muslims?
Yeah, it just all depends on whichever country it is. We're a Christian country, and then you have other places such as Nigeria, where they're Muslim and so forth. It just varies.
Okay.
Where you're from.
And the same type of Christians, like non-denominational Baptists.
Baptists.
And our church services there, same as here?
Same as here. You have some, short and sweet. Some, you got your 3-hour ones. They all, whichever ones works for you.
3-hour ones, oh gosh. That's definitely a Southern thing.
Yeah.
But is there anything in your culture that you disagree with?
Yeah, paying a tariff in order to marry a woman. So if I...
tell me about that.
Yeah, so... I eventually would like to marry an African. This is in every African culture.
So your parents expect you to?
Yeah, any country. It varies, though. It varies. Nigerians may do it different from Africans. Okay. But you do have to have a traditional wedding. And a traditional wedding where you pretty much have to pay in order to marry your spouse. Yeah.
So you have to pay her, or you pay just
her family. You pay her family.
Oh, it's like to take her in.
Yeah, so a family pretty much writes up a bill of everything they want, a certain amount of dollars that they want, and you have to come up with all that.
Wow.
Or you can bargain as well.
Okay, so you have to. Okay, so they get to decide how much money they want for their daughter.
Yeah.
It can be any amount.
Usually, they also look at your pockets as well. Me being that I have that American education.
Oh, they're gonna want
they're gonna tax me. Yeah, I know whichever family I married.
So do you think one day you're gonna have to pay that?
Yeah.
If you go back to Africa and
it doesn't matter. Even if I marry African women here, we still have to go through that process.
Have you found that African American?
Oh, no,
African woman?
No, I haven't. I'm years and years now. We working on,
So would your family care? What if she was just black?
They would prefer African.
Would African American be the second choice after African?
Yeah,
because she's still black.
But to me, it's whoever makes me happy, whoever help me accommodate me, and So.
Why do you think they prefer African?
I feel it's not as much cultural barrier there when you marry just an African American.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So your older siblings, since you're the youngest, have they gotten married to Africans?
Yes,
as well?
all of everybody.
Oh, so you have to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a lot's on you right now.
Yeah, lots on me right now.
So you think they would look down on you if you?
Yeah, it's very frowned upon.
Really?
Yeah, I could definitely say something very frowned upon, and it's definitely something that's very frowned upon.
Have you brought any girls home to your parents?
See, one thing about Africa is we don't really date. They don't really, don't really accept dating. The first person you probably bring home is the person you'll probably marry.
Really?
Yeah. So
with your siblings, you never saw them your sister bring home a man, or that she didn't get married to, or your brothers bring home?
Yeah, two of my sisters married, one isn't married, but all my cousins and so forth. The first man that they officially always introduced to the family is the one that always got married to.
That's really good. Yeah. And they're still married?
Yeah, they're still married.
Do you feel like Americans take marriage as a joke? Because there's a lot of, especially in the African American culture, there's a lot of single parent homes.
Yeah, that's something that's very uncommon in African culture. When we say those vows, to death do us part, we really mean those. Especially when kids get involved, you're just not. It's not. It's just not your marriage anymore. You guys are there for the kids. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and if there's an issue, both families just sit down there and have a big meeting and they'll work everything out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with your parents, they've been married how many years?
My parents. My mother was 20 when she married mine.
20, wow, she was young.
So they've been married over 40-some years now.
Really? So how often do they get to see each other since your dad's?
It's just holidays. I'll be graduating here in May, so
he'll be back again.
Yes.
Okay. So. And
this currently just happened last year.
Something new. Okay.
Yeah, this is something new. And due to my mom's health, she had to move here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So last time you saw your dad was in Christmas time, maybe?
It was actually. Last April.
Really? Yeah. Okay. And does your dad does he not speak English as well?
Yeah, he doesn't speak English as well, but he speaks French, he speaks Lingala, he speaks his tribal language. So when you go out, how does your mom navigate in America? Since she can't really speak English. She doesn't go out by herself often. Okay. So usually is your mom, where are you from again? No, Winston-Salem. She's not that far. Yeah. So when you go home, do you all ever go out to eat and you have to translate? You have to translate what's on the menu. Yeah. Most times she goes out with my sisters. Okay. And so your sister's still back in Winston? Yeah. She lives with my sister. What about the rest of your siblings? Yeah. Well, one of my sisters lives here. Well, I have a sister that lives here in Greensboro and two brothers that live here in Greensboro. My sister, whom I live with in Winston, she lives out in Winston. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So how did you find out about North Carolina A&T just living in actually, my brother-in-law is an alum. Really? Yeah, he was able. That's why actually my family got here. We came to. Well, we actually started out living in Greensboro. Mm-hmm. Back in the days, he received an international scholarship to come study at North Carolina A&T. Wow. And then, So what was his major? His major was, I believe, it was agriculture engineering at the time. Oh, he's smart. Yeah. Yeah. So, have you met any other people from the Congo here? Yes, we actually have a pretty big Congolese community here. Some of actually my closest friends, apart from my line brothers, are actually Congolese. So, yeah. Oh, really? You're part of a fraternity? What fraternity are you from? Yeah, I'm part of Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Okay. Epsilon chapter.
Now, how did your parents feel about that? Did they understand what that was
they
exactly?
Really did. That was something that's one of the things that they told me to stay away from when I came to college. It was like, they're gonna try to recruit you. Yes, the devil, stay away from it. But everything, with knowledge, comes understanding. So I told my parents about it. I told them what it was about it. They understood it, and so far it's been good.
Good.
It's opened up a lot of good opportunities for me.
I bet. So are you the only person in that chapter from the Congo?
Yes.
So you're making history.
Yeah. We've had other Africans as well, but I'm the first Congolese.
Okay. Yeah. So do you plan on continuing these traditions with your children?
Yes.
Are you going to teach your children the language?
Yeah. I'm definitely, that's why I want to marry a Congolese woman, so we could raise our kids up learning the language as well.
Okay. So, say you don't marry a Congolese woman. Do you think you're still going to continue that?
Yeah. I would definitely. I'm going to definitely try to teach as much about my culture as much as I can.
Do you think it would be hard if she's not?
Yeah. That's when of course those barriers come into place.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel as if when you and somebody love each other enough, you guys will make it work.
Very, very true. So, have you traveled anywhere outside of the United States?
Yes, I've been to Switzerland. I've been to Canada. Yeah.
What have you been doing in these places? What were you doing? Just vacationing?
Well, we stayed in Switzerland for a week before we came here to the States. Yeah, 2001. In Canada, I have another sister on my dad's side.
Mm-hmm.
She lives out in Toronto, so yeah, I've been out there before.
Okay, so your dad had a child before he met your mother?
It's funny. My dad actually he's actually married to multiple wives. In African culture,
so this is in your okay. See, that's something interesting. Wow, I didn't know. So, how many wives does your father have?
2. My mother's the second one.
Wow, that's very interesting. So, because here in America, they say a lot of girls are crazy. You're not messing with more than just one. Yeah. So, do you believe in having more than one?
No. That's like it doesn't really. And my parents are much older as well. That doesn't really happen in African culture anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
So, where's his other wife located?
She lives back home.
So do you think he's with her right now?
Yeah.
Okay. And is your mom okay with that since it's a part of the culture?
Yeah.
It's just like fine. Do you think are the women allowed to have other husbands?
No.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
We have a pretty double
standard.
Yeah, double standard culture, but we've developed our culture's developed. So that double marriage thing, having multiple wives thing, it's totally out of the window. It's very actually something frowned upon in our own culture now.
Really?
Yeah. Okay,
so are you all upset with your father for having another wife since you love your mother, or it's something you learned to just
grew up with it and accepted it and you never thought second about it.
So how many? Okay, so how many children does he have on his other side?
Yeah, 6.
6 on that side and then 7 with him. Oh wow, so he has a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so since it's frowned upon now and it's not illegal in America, is it something that y'all just don't say anything about usually?
Yeah, you just know it's there.
It's just there and you just leave it alone. Yeah. Okay. And how are you with your other siblings? Do you communicate with them?
Yes.
How old are they?
They're all much older than I am as well. Of course, I'm the baby.
So you really are. So how old are your parents? Are they?
My parents, they're all in their 60s.
Okay, so you have older parents. So you have nieces and nephews. You're an uncle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, my nephew, he goes here.
Really?
Yeah.
So wait, how old is your nephew?
He's 18.
He's 18.
Yeah.
How old are his parents? So he's a freshman.
Yeah, his parents are 40, in their 40s.
Oh wow, so y'all are really close.
Yeah.
Age. Okay, that makes sense because I guess my parents, they're in their late 40s. Yeah. Okay. So, does your mother and what do you call her? His other wife.
Yeah.
They get along?
Yeah. Perfect.
Wow, that'd be really interesting. I would love to see how that would be.
Yeah.
Especially since I'm not used to that.
Yeah, they get along. They're perfectly fine. They're like best friends.
So it's like no such thing as really jealousy or insecurity.
No. I mean, there's but
it's something you just learn to accept.
You're best friends. They really are.
Really?
Yeah.
That is so cool to me.
Yeah.
So your mom's parents, did her dad have 2 wives as well?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Your grandparents or your father's parents?
That's a great question.
You're
That's
not sure?
Yeah.
But now your siblings, they don't believe in that too.
Yeah, they don't believe
the husbands having 2 wives.
Yeah, that's something.
They're Americanized.
That was something in my dad's and mom's generation.
So why did it stop? Do you think?
Well, we develop. I say the world is developing, culture is developing, religion is also developing. So as you do more research within the Bible and so forth like that. So, yeah.
That's also what I was going to ask, because in the Bible, did they find a way to make it say that 2 wives is acceptable since you were from a Christian?
Yeah, they found that, and then with our generation, they found no, it's not acceptable.
Yeah, so it was like something they just changed.
Yeah, it's just phenomenon that happens.
Okay. So birthday celebrations, things like that, are still the same.
We're different.
Different?
We really don't celebrate birthdays like that.
Really? Why is that?
We celebrate. It's just another day to us. Yeah, so we celebrate accomplishments more than anything.
Okay.
So college graduations are a big thing to us. Yeah, so I'm planning to graduate here. My family's having a big event for me. And so forth. Yeah.
Your dad will be back for that, right?
Yeah, so we celebrate accomplishments more than anything.
Okay, so at events like your graduation, do you think your stepmother would be there? Or
Yeah.
So she'll come?
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And so for birthdays, it's just like, do your parents even tell you happy birthday?
Yeah, I mean,
is there
might
a
not
cake?
even get a happy birthday. Honestly,
I was about to say, is there a cake or
we do celebrate like pivotal birthdays. So you'll celebrate probably every family celebrate their child's first birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, they celebrate that, and then you might celebrate your 5th. But after your 5th, it's pretty much hey, happy birthday.
Okay, so are you used to it?
Yeah,
growing up, did you have birthday parties? Or
No.
There were no birthday parties.
Yeah.
It was just
because I was raised in American culture, we did go out to dinner and so forth, having cake, but yeah.
Okay. So growing up as well, because what age did you move here again?
7.
7. Were you invited to a lot of birthday parties?
Yeah,
and would you go, and did you feel any type of way about not
I
celebrating?
did. Just because I was living in American culture now, I'm like, okay, so why, I'm 10, why not have a birthday party? So
did you ever try to express that to your parents?
Yeah, I expressed it, but
they were like,
parents,
they don't play.
Yeah, they don't play. They're very dominant in their beliefs.
I was gonna say, was it hard growing up? Like, were they like, you better get all A's?
Yeah, they were very hard, and I feel as if it was a very like dictator type parent.
Really?
Parenting.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, very hard parenting. Very, they're really big on grades.
Okay.
I could never really, girlfriend. That was a thing.
So did you sneak out? Did you sneak out?
Yeah, I mean, you did those things, kind of, you kind of finessed and did those things on the side, but that was never a thing that you would tell your mother or father, tell them like, hey, I have a boyfriend. What is that?
So what about prom and stuff? Did you ever go to prom?
Those were exceptions, but you could only introduce.
It was a friendship type thing.
Yeah, it was a friendship type thing.
Do you think they knew maybe, or when you did go to prom, was it your girlfriend or was it someone that actually was just your friend?
My 11th grade year, she was my girlfriend. But when we came home, my parents came. I had it. It's like, hey, you can't say that. Just you're my friend.
Right. Was she African?
No, she was African.
What was she?
Yeah, she was fine. She was American.
Okay, but she was black?
Yeah.
Okay. So they were nice to her?
Yeah.
They didn't really care?
They said as long as she's not your girlfriend, it's fine.
Do you think they just played it off like trying to act like they didn't know?
Yeah, I feel
like they knew,
but
but they were like, we're not going to accept you type thing. And did you ever end up making anything other than A's on your report card?
I made an F one time.
Oh, and what class was this? How did they react?
Math, and honestly, I didn't actually. What was my punishment? I remember it was no TV. I couldn't play wild ball that yeah, it was a lot of harsh punishment. That was hard. It was no wild
did
ball.
you just not work in this class, or it was really hard?
Yeah, it was just very hard. Yeah,
and they just didn't accept it.
Yeah,
they were like,
didn't accept it. Yeah, we have a very no excuse, no tolerant type culture.
Okay,
get it done, and somehow, especially when it comes to education.
Okay.
Yeah.
And after that, I bet you.
I got it together.
And in college, you've been making. Do they still have the same expectations, even though it's college? Like all A's, yes. Or have they been a little more lenient?
Oh well, yeah, a little bit more lenient. In college, college, I feel as if they kind of let you. They do. They're really big on determining your major. Okay. So your parents do have a big say so.
Oh, so they decide.
Yeah, but when it comes to grades and stuff like that, as long as you're in school and as long as you're not failing out, they're okay with it.
Okay. Yeah. So, Nick, state your major again.
I'm supply chain management.
Supply chain management. Since they made this decision for you, did they make this decision for you?
I know. Well, supply chain. You most time in African culture, you have 4 choices.
Okay.
either work in technology, business, become a doctor, or go into law. Those are your 4 choices.
Okay, so something to make money. Bring some money in.
Bring some money. So you can't be in school and your major be fashion or anything.
Okay.
So that's it. Just
so you either got to choose between that, business management, or could you have chose accounting or anything if you want?
Yeah.
Okay. Something in the business aspect.
Yeah, some business or engineering or.
So are you excited in what do you love what you do?
Yeah, I love what I do.
And what exactly will you be doing with IBM?
I'll be doing strategy and consulting.
Consulting?
Yeah.
Okay. So is there a certain amount of money that you are required to make in your
No, you're just required to make enough to take care of your family.
Okay, so
and give back to your community.
So if you don't say you would have done fashion, how do you think your parents would have disowned you, or how would they have accepted it?
They would. I don't know. I never, I never thought fashion was never a choice.
Okay, so like in America, you know how being gay is something normal. What's not necessarily, it is kind of becoming normal and accepted. Yeah. Is that something that's accepted or normal in Africa, or how is that treated?
To my parents, no. To me, just because, I've been growing up in a culture and I've been seeing it so long, yeah, it's acceptable to me. But to my parents, no. But for myself, you grew up with it, you see it, you have some,
Back in the Congo, are there gay people?
No, in Congo, there are really not a lot of gay people. They are gay, their family kind of just own them.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that because of it being a Christian?
Yeah, it's just being, we're very hard on our Christian beliefs and Christian principles.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, what is the weather like in the Congo? Is it
we only have 2 seasons.
Really? What are those?
We have rainy seasons, where it's kind of like our spring. We have summer. So, we only have spring and summer.
So, during these rainy seasons, it rains like for days straight?
Yeah, for days straight.
Really?
Yeah.
So, it doesn't stop?
Yeah, it could rain fully. You could have a whole, 2 weeks worth of rain.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's definitely not going to be a drought there.
Nah.
So.
Certain places.
Okay, depends where you're from.
Yeah, Congo. Yeah, we're big on our two seasons. So we have a hard spring, which brings a lot of rain, and we have a very hot summer.
Okay.
And each one of them lasts 6 months. So
really,
you get the best of both worlds.
So. I have 2 questions. One, how hot does it get? About like in the hundreds or?
Well, just because of global warming and so forth like that, it's gotten very hot. But we're about in the 90s, but it's not as humid. It's not as humid.
Okay,
yeah, it's not as humid.
And what do y'all wear during these summer days? Like
we pretty much wear the same thing. Yeah.
So there's no such things as like African clothing.
Oh,
like, the what are those dashikis?
Yeah,
like, those are very nice.
Yeah, you can wear those. You can wear those year round.
Okay.
You can wear our clothing is pretty much more year round. We don't have winter clothes or.
You don't. Yeah. Okay, because it's still hot when it rains.
Yeah.
It's just raining basically. Okay, so you wear sandals.
Yeah.
And do you all wear the things that a lot of African Americans wear here, Jordans?
Yeah, just because the world is becoming a global economy, and just because of globalization, we're very familiar with Jordans, Nike, and so forth.
Oh, so you do still wear all that?
Yeah, we wear all that.
And do you all have fast food places there, like McDonald's?
Yeah. As you said, the world is becoming, as I mentioned earlier, the world is becoming one open market. So in Kinshasa, we just got our first KFC.
Really?
Yeah, last year. And McDonald's, we had it about 2 years ago.
And I've heard that McDonald's in other countries
it's a little different.
What's different about it?
I haven't had it yet in those places.
Okay,
but just from siblings and so forth that went back, they said it definitely tastes a little bit more different.
Okay, so
they kind of try to adapt to their
culture. It's probably made like how it is there. Okay, and you all have everything basically like restaurants, like Applebee's.
No, we don't have those. We have our version of Applebee's.
Is it called something else? Like,
yeah.
What is it called? Any of your restaurants? Like, and do you all have like Japanese or?
Most of our restaurants, are kind of incorporated with entertainment. So you will have a restaurant, and then you will have probably a nightclub or a bar associated with it. Yeah.
So since you're allowed to drink at any age, can you go into these bars at any age?
Yeah, I mean.
So you can be 14 in a bar.
Yeah.
At any time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. So
they don't stop. There's not a time limit where they stop selling alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can drink. I remember you saying something about a drinking and driving policy.
Yeah.
So you are allowed to drink and drive, or is there a certain
Yeah, you
amount?
are allowed to drink and drive, but we're trying to adapt. We're trying to set up laws and regulations where limit those incidents. Yeah.
So even though kids are allowed to drink at 14 and be in these bars, do a lot of parents let these kids go in?
No. But it all goes, comes back to parenting.
What age are you considered an adult in the Congo? Like, are you as a man?
I feel as if you're considered an adult, that they go pay your own bills. They get out your parents' and mother's house.
Okay, so they still, because I know watching a lot of movies from kids in Africa, a lot of the young kids are babysitting the babies at ages like 12. They're considered like grown people. Yeah. So is it like that in the Congo?
No. Those are just regular family duties that you have to take care of. But you come in the door when you move out or when you get married.
Okay. And what's the traditional age for getting married?
Traditional age has changed. It's changed. For my parents, it was much younger, just because the world has evolved. So the ages went up. So about 25, 26.
25, 26. Okay. Oh, that's like a normal.
Normal age stays here in America. Yeah. So a lot of our culture, we've adapted with the rest of the world. Yeah, we've caught up to the rest of the world. When it comes to things such as drinking and driving, and then age marriage. When individuals get married.
So you say you have adapted to American culture. Why is that? Do you think because of technology, or why are you all?
Why is Africa?
Why
things such as technology. Technology definitely would have to be number one, and then social media.
I was gonna ask that. Is social media the same there?
Yeah,
do you all have Instagram?
Yeah, we have Instagram.
And cell phone services like AT&T, Verizon.
No, we don't have those. We have our own. So Intel is our biggest company in Africa.
Intel, okay.
Yeah, so Intel is the biggest cellular provider in Africa.
Okay.
So yeah, most everybody they go through Intel and so forth.
Oh, okay. So, it's basically the same as here, like you said, like Verizon, AT&T. Do you have? What are your phone numbers? Are they a certain amount of digits? Is it a lot?
Yeah, they're longer.
Really? How long?
I think theirs is about 12.
12, really?
Yeah.
So your dad, since he's back in the Congo, does he have a phone?
Yeah.
For there?
Yeah.
And does it cost extra money, or how do you communicate?
So they do
it
by minutes.
Okay.
They don't have a cell phone plan or anything like that. So they have to buy data and minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So does he have an American phone too as well, or do you usually just talk?
No. Their phone doesn't work here, but our phones can work there.
Really? I wonder why is that?
Yeah, I never understood that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're wrapping it up. It's almost over. Is there anything you'd like to express about your culture? Anything I didn't ask you, or just something a lot of people don't know?
I'm very proud of my culture. One thing in Africa that we're big on is our culture. It represents you, represent what you stand for, especially as a man. You treat everyone with respect. If anybody needs help and you could help them out, you do it. So those are two big principles that we live on: humanitarian and just respect for others and ourselves, and ultimately for whom we serve upstairs.
Yeah. So were you disciplined growing up if you were not respectful?
Yeah. Respect is a big thing. You shake everybody's hand. It doesn't matter if you don't know the person or not. When somebody has to come to your household, as I mentioned earlier, you have to offer them something to drink or something to eat. But even if they do have that, you have to come and shake their hand, introduce yourself.
So have you adapted to that here in America? When you see people and you walk around, do you say hello?
Yeah, that's something that I always just keep in mind. If I'm having a conversation with somebody or somebody else comes that I don't know or they might know, I introduce myself. Hey, what's good, man? My name is Benjamin.
So have you been up north? You know how they say up north, a lot of people from New York or D.C.
Yeah.
They're rude. You go where you're going. You don't say
Yeah.
Have you noticed that from some people?
Yeah, I've noticed that. At first it bothered me. Especially coming to North Carolina, A&T, where there's a lot of people from up north. It bothered me. I've gotten kind of used to it.
Do you think it's rude, or are you like,
it's not rude.
What in the world? You've just learned that's just who they are, and that's your culture.
Culture is who you are.
So you definitely learn to accept other cultures.
Yes, others' cultures and respect it.
Mm-hmm. And the people that are from Congo that attend North Carolina A&T as well, do you all have a lot of similarities, or?
Yeah, we do.
Do you know
of course, we speak. Yeah. I know a lot of their families. Some of them, just because we grew up in the same area. We used to attend the same events and so forth.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And do they speak the language as well?
Yeah, they speak Tagalog.
And do your parents know them? Like,
yeah,
is it like like, for example, here in Greensboro, I know a lot of people that are Middle Eastern. A lot of the Middle Eastern people know each other in Greensboro. Is it like that in one sense?
Yeah,
like you all are very connected?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time,
No problem
Benjamin.
at all.
I really appreciate it. It was nice meeting you.
No problem. Nice to meet you as well.